Welcome to a special edition of the Integration Scoop series presented by SAP and the Let's Talk Data podcast, where we explore game-changing technology and strategies with leading experts with the goal of achieving innovation through the integration of business applications and processes. If you haven't done so already, please follow or subscribe to our podcast on your favorite channel to stay tuned in. To hear more, please visit the Integration Scoop website in the show notes.
Welcome to the Integration Scoop podcast. Today, we pick up where we left off last time as we talk with Carhartt expert Sri Pedamallu from the Global Center of Excellence and Saro Subramanian, an EAI architect with Carhartt. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sri to talk a little bit about who Carhartt is, and then we'll get into how we've been working with them over the last many months.
Thanks, Ryan. So from the Carhartt standpoint, we are about 135-year-old company, and our founder, Hamilton Carhartt, initially started this company in 1889 in Detroit to serve and protect the railroad workers. That's how we started this company. And our mission is to build the rugged products to serve and protect the hardworking people. And today we have about 6,000 employees across United States and Mexico. And we have about 6 supply chain facilities, across the United States and 4 in Mexico. Our product lines are mostly for the men's, women, kids, including the t-shirts, outwear, pants, jeans, hoodies, sweatshirts, scrubs, etc. So from the business unit standpoint, we have about 3 business units. The first one is wholesale, obviously. Partners such as Dick's Sporting Goods, Tractor Supply, Home Depot are our biggest partners. And we've got about 3,000 accounts with 12,000 doors where you can see our products. The second one is the direct-to-consumer, where those are company-owned retail stores. Today we have about 40 stores, and the number is keep growing. And those are only in US, but the Carhartt.com is both in US and Europe at this point. And the third one is the Carhartt Company Gear. This is for the business-to-business channel. We offer uniforms for the businesses for all the sizes, and also, putting the corporate logos and do some kind of decoration on the top of the blank pieces. So when it comes to the technology, as part of our digital transformation journey, we initially started, with the S4 integration, I would say, the transformation from ECC and the prior versions of the AFS into S4 fashion version. Then we went to the Commerce Cloud, and then we introduced this integration suite. And again, right now we are on the implementing the best practices or the center of excellence more right now.
All right, so thank you, Sri. Now we want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that Carhartt was having, looking at their integration technology, trying to identify, what they want to do in the future for new use cases, modernizing that platform. And Sri, maybe you can comment a little bit about kind of where you guys were at last year when we started working with you, and how you've made some decisions kind of to go forward, and where we fit in there to that conversation.
Initially, we went with S4, we realized the benefits of the new platform, and then we went live with the SAP Commerce Cloud. But definitely now we're forced to modernize the whole integration layer. That's where we started the exploring all the possible technologies and tools. But we landed with SAP Integration Suite just because, as we heard from both Arti and Ryan, how those technology fits into the landscape, SAP landscape. Given the source and destinations are SAP, we thought this is much more streamlined, and we can bring the best synergy between those systems. And we also we don't need to worry much about the training the internal and external teams, and also not much, I would say, mapping changes or reinventing the wheel when we're migrating the new platform, right? And as you heard from Arti, the API strategy is one of the key things that we want to introduce, where we don't have any strategy today, but with this technology, we're able to build the strategy, and we are on the way up to to build the whole API, I would say, landscape integrating between, I would say, the cloud to cloud system, internal systems versus external systems, SAP systems versus non-SAP systems. So we do have a roadmap, but we are at the initial stages right now, and whatever we did so far, it's working well so far.
So maybe I can ask the next question. I was wondering, how was your experience working with on this journey with SAP?
I have been actually closely working with the migration of the multiple interfaces with the SAP team. Right now we are actually on the integration suite and connecting mainly the C4C commerce and S4 on the ERP side, working actually almost like last couple of months on the integration suite without any issues. But before actually we got into the integration suite, actually we had all our interfaces on PO, basically with the old ERP system and the web commerce that is used for .com interfaces. So when we upgraded around 2021 from ERP to S4 and from web commerce to C4C SAP commerce, we encountered a decision point, right? What do? Do we integrate with the same PO system, using the PO system, or do we want to go with the iPaaS solution? At that time, it was CPI on Neo platform, right? So the main important the decision factor was the out-of-box offerings from SAP, and from our experience, we knew it was very difficult, and we had to involve a lot of developers for many months to develop those interfaces, old interfaces. But with the out-of-box offerings, actually, it was actually like few weeks actually. We were able to up and running. So that was the biggest advantage with these kind of solutions. So that was one thing. The other one was our Carhartt strategy was actually to go with the iPaaS and the cloud first strategy. So that is also, we had it in our mind. Having those things implemented, and in 2022, actually, we started our journey from CPI Neo into Integration Suite. So it took actually around kind of 8 weeks for those 11 interfaces. And we engaged with the Migration Factory team on the SAP side. And it was very pleasant experience because we didn't have much experience as our team. So we were able to interact constantly, like regularly on a weekly basis. And they were able to introduce the system and also the advantages and disadvantages, everything. So it worked out very well actually, and we went live actually last April. So we have been on that system for the last couple of months. So we are completely on Integration Suite for those interfaces.
So as part of the Migration Factory work that SAP did with Carhartt, we provided a review of their PI and PO landscape and presented to them the complexity and the potential migration effort to do that migration. We also took a look at that CPI Neo environment that Saro mentioned as well, and supported them with that pre-built content and getting that live in their e-commerce landscape. Beyond that, I think, Sri, right, we're looking at kind of the future here, both of you, on where you're going to go with Integration Suite and also the process orchestration, process integration migration. Maybe you can close us out here a little bit with kind of what's in the future as next steps for you.
Okay, I'll start on the technology side. As far as actually the future, we are gearing up actually to migrate our PO interfaces into the cloud integration. So we have around 200 plus interfaces. So we have identified actually start with the smaller number of interfaces and migrate it actually in a different batches, probably like 4 or 5 batches. So that is our immediate focus area, and we have started using the tools that was mentioned by Arti, the integration assessment and migration tools, and so that's all actually we are looking into it. On the API side, we have actually we have been working with SAP to install and start some POCs on the API management, because we have some of the needs for API integrations. Right now we are doing actually API integration using PO system, but the cloud integration and API management is going to be much more advanced actually for implementing our needs. So that is the focus areas for us.
Yeah, just to add a couple of more points on top of what Sarah mentioned, our goal for the next 1 year is to establish the API management, as Sarah mentioned, while we are continuing the PIPO migration into the integration suite. We think like now we already had the foundation and we want to go to the next level in the next 1 to 2 years. API management is our focus, to, I would say, introduce and take it to the next levels.
Great. Thank you, Sri and Saro, for sharing your story today. Just to wrap up our quick session here today, there is a dedicated page on SAP.com specific for the migration scenarios we discussed today, so you can find out more on all the tools and programs that we were discussing today. Also, if you're not already using Integration Suite, you can get free access to the technology through the Business Technology Platform free tier. Thank you again for joining us, and Sri and Saro and Arti for the overview that you've provided.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Please check out the show notes for additional links to information, and please subscribe or follow to join us on the next episode of the Integration Scoop, presented by SAP.